But it does, however, acknowledge the need for the government to create a conducive environment for businesses to be rights respecting and to conduct human rights due diligence. And here it's important, especially now, given that Pakistan's major trading partners, such as the European Union and others, are already putting in place mandatory human rights due diligence measures for their supply chains. And so aligning with these international developments will be essential for Pakistan, as it would also be for other Asian countries, to remain not only competitive in global markets, but to also ensure, most importantly, that human rights are being protected and respected across supply chains, especially critical mineral supply chains. I should offer a word of caution here, however. Implementing mandatory and voluntary measures alone will not be enough if they are treated as mere box-ticking compliance exercises, which is something that we still see from a number of businesses operating in these sectors. And so for these measures to work, they really do need to be embedded in governance, supported by transparency in procurement and contracting, and also reinforced by actual accessible grievance mechanisms. And so achieving the smart mix of measures, so to speak, is really about maintaining balance by ensuring that states fulfill their duty to protect human rights and that businesses respect them as well. One very final note before I conclude here is to also say that multilateral accountability mechanisms, if I can put them that way, are important for Asia, given that supply chains relevant to the just transition frequently cross borders and investments flow through complex networks of state-owned enterprises, private companies, and financial institutions. And so altogether, this is why we need to take a transboundary perspective on the human rights implications that the energy transition can have as well. But in order to protect the frontline communities that we see at risk in this transition, it is also to ensure that multilateral action exists alongside national and local action too. And so there are many aspects, I would say, of accountability that would be better achieved locally through, for example, community-led initiatives or indigenous governance, but also others that will require national will as expressed through national legislation and enforcement. So really the challenge here, in addition to all of the climate financing challenges that we've heard from other speakers, is to design a layered system where multilateral frameworks can help set the standards to ensure cross-border accountability, but where we see this complementing national laws and local governance efforts to really enforce the business responsibility to respect human rights as part of the just energy transition. So altogether, I know that's a lot to perhaps take in, but it is extremely important that a just transition is ensured, because otherwise we are at risk of replicating the problems that we've seen in previous energy transitions, if I can put it that way. And really, at the end of the day, we're all here talking about these issues because we want to protect the planet, but equally the people that live on this earth. And that means actually ensuring that we safeguard people and their rights from harm, and we ensure that climate finance flows to those who need it most. With that, I'll hand it back over to you.